So today I want to talk about feelings. And I know a little bit about feelings because I have feelings, and I have a feeling that you have feelings too. There's a couple people in my life that watch the news a lot and feel bad a lot because they watch the news a lot. I think they know that they're doing that. I don't think it's a big mystery to them that if they didn't watch the news, they would feel better. But they value the truth. They don't think the news is a big lie, like I tend to think. And maybe since the news is a big lie, is an overstatement. They, don't learn from me, in my point of view. I think the news is a selection of events designed to keep us watching. Fear is a big motivator, so stories that lead, but it's more nefarious than that. It's more subtle than that. They could find more violent stories and tell us all the most violent stories, but we watch less if we're overwhelmed than if we're at a constant state of low-level fear. Maybe high-level fear. I'm not sure about the level of fear, but there's something about the type of fear that the news engenders that is intentional to keep us watching. So for the people that can follow a narrative, the fear that's chosen to be emphasized is within that narrative so that they're continuing a story. So the gun violence story, that's kind of clear. Because there are people in the news that want gun control, or at least want the issue of gun control to be front and center. I don't think very many people in control want there to be no guns. I think people in control probably buy guns and buy stock in gun companies because whenever the talk is about gun control, people buy guns, and that's a way to make some money. I don't know, maybe that's too intentional. Obviously, there are a lot of people on both sides of that issue, but when it's discussed a lot, then it gets people angry on both sides of the issue. And maybe any issue with two sides is beneficial for people in control, because when people are on two sides, they can be pushed back and forth. If everybody thought that there should be some kind of gun control, but they just weren't sure what kind of gun control it should be, if everybody on both sides already understood that everything is controlled to some degree, and the question is just how much should it be controlled, then maybe the conversation would be more reasoned, and maybe it wouldn't make people watch TV, and maybe it wouldn't make people mad, and maybe that's not the goal of the people in charge. It's hard to say how in charge people are. But this idea that the elite control everything is a powerful idea, and the people that I'm talking about that are controlled by the news more than I think they should be controlled by the news, they don't buy into that idea, whereas I do. So my issue with authority is constant. Every job I have, is the boss doing a good job? Is the boss looking out for the little guy? Does the boss need to be replaced? Does the boss need to be spoken to? For some reason I care about authority and how it is wielded. I've been in authority and I liked it. And I thought that I was making good decisions about when to ignore an issue and when to face an issue. But if I could get a handle on these reasonable people's reactions to the news and get a handle on my reaction to the news and find a balance, that might be good. It's hard to know when to have a balance and when to be squarely on one side of an issue. I just know that with the latest news story, the collapse of a building with people inside, that my life has not been worse because I didn't follow that story. I heard the story on the news. One person was confirmed dead. I knew if the building was that big, more than one person had died. But by confirming one person dead, that was bait for me to listen to more of that story, and it didn't work on me because I didn't want to know how many died. I don't want anybody to die, but I don't need to know if it's 10, 20, 100, or 1,000 because I'm not in charge of building codes. I'm not in charge of building safety reporting. I'm not in charge of any aspect of it, and I'm not going to buy a building right now or move right now or make any decision that I would need to know if any building was unsafe right now. So I know I didn't need to watch that story. And the people I'm thinking of, they're not in any position like that either. It's not like we can warn people, oh, that building's safe, that building's not safe. We don't know. So why do we need to know about that story? And I don't think we have any way of knowing if our own buildings are unsafe. So even, telling our neighbor or getting out of a building ourselves, like that information doesn't help. So am I better than them for ignoring that news story? Well, I think I made a better choice. So, I guess that's it.